Well, I've got 4:30, Mr. Chair, so it's your show.
Okay, thank you. I need a mover and a seconder for a resolution to convene as the Committee of Adjustment for the July 8th hearing. Moved by Terry, second by Stuart. Okay. Move that the Committee of Adjustment for the Corporation of the Township of Seguin hereby convenes at 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, July 8th. All in favor? That motion is carried. Is it? Yeah, I don't know if I got them in the right order or not.
Oh,
Is this? Do we do the agenda first or the?
yeah, the next one should be agenda.
Okay. It's very difficult. Okay, could I have a mover and a second for a resolution to accept the agenda for today's meeting as circulated?
Can you guys still
Stuart,
see me?
Karen? Okay. Move that the Committee of Adjustment for the Corporation of the Township of Seguin hereby approves the agenda for the July 8th hearing as circulated. Okay, all in favor? Thank you. That's carried. Okay. I need a mover and a seconder for a motion to accept the minutes of the previous meeting as circulated. Moved by Karen, it's your turn, Terry. Move that the Committee of Adjustment for the Corporation of the Township of Seguin hereby accepts as read and circulated the minutes of its last hearing that took place on Wednesday, June 10th, 2020. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay. All right, now I need the advertising. The Committee of Adjustment hereby convenes a public meeting as per the Planning Act. Applicants and the public can speak at the public meeting. Notice of the decisions will be sent to applicants and to the public if requested. Any person may appeal a decision or condition of approval within 20 days after the notice of decision. And now I will ask the committee if anyone has any pecuniary interest that they need to disclose. No, none declared. Okay. I'll now ask the Secretary Treasurer to introduce the first application.
Okay. So application A 2020-0011H is for 314A Stanley House Road. And this is a minor variance for lot coverage to permit 2 roof overhangs / deck overhangs. No correspondence was received via email, and no requests to address the committee were received on this application.
Okay, does anyone in attendance wish to speak to this application?
Yes, please.
Kelly, go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon. Kelly Hodder with Planscape, 104 Kimberly Ave, Bracebridge, P1L1Z8. I'm here today representing the Hodder family. They have constructed a new cottage and would like to add 2 decks facing the water at the front. While the dwelling complies with the required 8% lot coverage, the proposed decks and overhangs do not. The requested variance is 0.91% to permit a lot coverage of 8.91% within 200 feet of the shoreline. The proposed variance meets the 4 tests required in the Planning Act. 1, the intent and purpose of the official plan. The proposed development meets all setback requirements, is in character with the neighborhood, and is hidden by existing vegetation. There is no negative impact to character, and it will not require the removal of any vegetation. Official plan policies regarding waterfront development support the compatibility of development within the character of an area, maintenance of vegetation and the natural environment, and ensuring development is appropriate, all of which describe this proposal. 2, general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw. The intent of the lot coverage provision is to ensure built form does not dominate the landscape. In this case, all shoreline buffers are to remain, and the structure is to be located in compliance with all setback requirements. The decks and overhangs will not be noticeable from the lake, and there is no addition to the main dwelling footprint proposed. Where the intent of the bylaw is to support appropriate land uses, in my opinion, the proposal to permit an additional 0.91% of lot coverage does maintain the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw. 3, desirable for appropriate development. I believe the proposal is desirable and appropriate for the property, as it will be well screened from view and in compliance with all other bylaw provisions. The proposed lot coverage increase is strictly related to decks and roof overhangs. There is no additional massing and no addition to the dwelling footprint. Is it minor in nature? Although there is no precise definition of minor, considering an application's impact is one of the best indicators of this. In this application, a small increase of 0.91% to lot coverage within 200 feet of the shoreline will not change the perception or massing appearance of the dwelling from the lake. The proposed coverage for the entire property is very low, approximately 3.45%. The property is well treed, vegetation will remain untouched, and the dwelling footprint will not change. The application is strictly for decks and their roof overhangs. In conclusion, I respectfully request the committee's support for this application. I am happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you. Any committee members have any questions? You see heads shaking?
No.
Okay. I need a mover and seconder then for the resolution to approve this application. Stuart?
Oh,
and
okay.
Karen, okay. All right, I'll read the resolution. That the Committee of Adjustment hereby approves variance application A 2020-0011 H Hutter to permit construction of 2 roof overhangs over exterior decks totaling 40.1 square meters, requiring a variance of the following section of the zoning bylaw 2006-125. Section 6.3, table 6.3, maximum lot coverage within 60 meters of the shoreline equals 8%. The roof overhangs above the decks would result in lot coverage within 60 meters of the shoreline of 8.91%, requiring a variance of 0.91%. Any further discussion? All in favor? That's carried.
Thank you very much.
So we'll send out a notice of decision within the next day or so.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks.
Good rest of the meeting, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we apply signatures magically.
Yes. Yeah, they'll magically appear on the decisions tomorrow.
Okay. Yay for magic. Okay, I'll ask the Secretary Treasurer to introduce the second application.
Application A 2020-0012H is for 30 Maureen Drive. This is a minor variance for a reduced side yard setback for a proposed boat awning. It's also a variance to recognize an existing non-complying dock that has a deficient side yard setback. And the final variance is to allow a slightly larger boat awning than the bylaw allows. Correspondence was received from 2 neighbors, Mark and Heidi. I don't have their last names. They've supported the application, and Michael and Tricia Kuhn at 28 Maureen Drive also support the application.
Okay, is there anyone who wishes to speak to this application?
Yes, thank you, Committee Chair and members of the committee. It's Stephen Palmer, Northern Vision Planning Limited, 109 Meadow Heights Drive, Bracebridge, Ontario, P1L184. And I'm here representing Yen Bellawender, who is the owner of the property. First of all, I'd like to thank staff for their positive report on this particular application. I won't go through, I believe my planning justification report was available to committee members, I believe.
Yeah.
Thank you, staff, for that. So I certainly am not going to go through that report in its entirety, but I'm going to just highlight a few items. First of all, in terms of the position of the boat awning itself, I think you'll see it's either on page 3 of the staff report or page 13 of my report. You'll see how the buildings are oriented on this particular property, and this property has been used as a cottage property since 1970. And you'll see that there's a general orientation to the sort of east, if you will, sort of over that corner of the lot line. Because when you step on this property and go right to the shoreline structure, it seems like it's right in front of the dwelling. You really wouldn't expect at all that there's a side yard setback problem. So, it's just the way it's been oriented. The dock itself, it is existing. It complies or very close to compliance at the shore. And I really think when it was constructed, they also went and used the orientation of the buildings and didn't consider, in all likelihood, the extension of that side lot line. So it ended up being close. But as noted in the staff report, there's a significant separation between the docks on the properties on either side. So it's not an issue. And again, we've got a support from the neighbors on both sides. In my opinion, there'll be little impact. I'm not going to go through the forecast of minor variance, but I believe there'll be little impact. It's going to be actually an attractive design. It's going to be, I think, more attractive than your traditional boat awning that's usually put on steel posts. And personally, I find them not particularly attractive, but I think this one is going to actually look quite nice. And I have checked with the building department, and they're fine with its construction. So again, once again, there's support from the neighbors. I think that's very key, and again, very little impact. And I'm here to answer any further questions. Thank you.
Okay, any members of committee who have any questions? Karen?
I have a question for our seasonal treasurer, Adam. When we're talking about this particular boat awning is supposed to be a seasonal boat awning. So are there specific months as to when the awning can be created on the docks and when it must be removed from the dock? With regards to our wintertime, what does this seasonal actually mean?
Yep, through you, Mr. Chair. That's a good question. Our zoning bylaw doesn't actually specify drop dead dates that they have to be removed, but because they're canvas, realistically, people are going to take them down once the boating season is over because the snow load would destroy it. So in this case, they're building the awning, instead of being steel, it's going to be a wood frame structure, but that canvas top has to come off, obviously, before it's destroyed by the elements. And I would assume, depending on the summer, probably by the end of September, that's when most of them come down, when the cottagers close up and leave for the year. If they leave that cloth awning on after first snow, it'll be destroyed from the snow load. So the answer is there's no specific date they have to be removed, but the intent of this provision is that those cloth tops are removed so that they're not permanent structures.
Thank you, Adam.
Could I add anything to that, Mr. Chair? Just want to
If you've got something to add, sure.
Oh, okay, thank you. Just wanted to indicate that the canvas top in this case is going to be custom made. It's going to be very expensive to utilize the hip roof design. He will definitely be having it off by the end of October because, just as Adam says, snow load could rip it apart, and this is not going to be an inexpensive awning. So my client is definitely wants to keep his investment, and he'll be removing it around the end of October.
I have a question. Probably doesn't make any difference to the outcome anyway, but when do we go from being an awning to being a boathouse?
Sorry, Going from an awning to being a boathouse?
Yeah, I mean, this kind of seems like a boat port more than an awning, but
Yeah, I did talk to the CBO about that. When the application came in, I looked at it and I thought, well, could this thing become a boat port? Now, there isn't enough frontage on this property to have a boat port, but we did
Okay.
change our bylaw a few years ago to allow these seasonal awnings. So that's what the applicant has gone for instead.
okay, so it's in that 30 to 60 meter
right.
range. Okay.
Yeah, so this landowner doesn't have enough frontage for the port, but this is the next best thing, and the bylaw allows it. But the basis here is that the roof covering is removed.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, I need a mover and seconder for the motion, please, to approve this. Terry and Karen? Okay, I'll read the motion. But the Committee of Adjustment hereby approves variance application A 2020-0012 H Ballawender to permit construction of a 27.9 square meter seasonal boat awning on an existing non-complying dock, having a side yard setback of 4.91 meters, and to recognize the existing dock non-complying side yard setback, requiring variances from the following sections of zoning bylaw 2006-125. Section 4.28.1J, table 4.4, footnote 6. Maximum boat awning area equals 24 square meters. The proposed boat awning would have an area of 27.9 square meters, requiring a variance of 3.9 square meters. 2. Proposed boat awning, section 4.28C, table 4.3, minimum shoreline accessory structure side yard setback equal 9 meters. The proposed seasonal boat awning would have a side yard setback of 7.52 meters, requiring a variance of 1.48 meters. And 3, the existing dock, section 4.28C, table 4.3, minimum shoreline structure setback equal 9 meters. The existing dock has a side yard setback of 4.91 meters, requiring a variance of 4.09 meters. Is there any further discussion or questions? All in favor? The motion is carried.
Okay, the application's approved, Steve, and we'll send out the notice of decision in the next day or so.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you. Okay, is there any other business? Anything exciting to report, Adam?
I think I have 2 confirmed for next month, and I've got a number of people who I think are going to try to get on the August agenda, but I'm in various stages of pre-consultation with them. So August could be 2 or 3, or it could be a good one. Just have to see how the next week goes.
Yeah. Okay, and nobody's taking us to the OMB or the LPAT or?
No, no, none of those for now.
Good.
That's the last time.
Okay,
I have a question.
yes, ma'am.
Adam, do we have any idea when we can actually go back to the Township of Seguin for these meetings?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that yet.
Okay,
I know we did talk about it when the emergency order came out about maybe having a meeting where we're all socially distanced, but I don't think that was very popular at the time. So I can have a discussion with my boss and with the higher ups, I guess, to see if there's an opportunity to have us attend the council meeting or have us attend the council chamber where we're all spread out, and then maybe the applicants can come in one at a time or come in via Zoom. So
right. That's what I was thinking. Okay, thank
Adam, Adam,
yes.
so at Monday's council meeting, this was sort of discussed, what we would do for township meetings if for some reason the premier ended the state of emergency. So if the premier ended the state of emergency, then the council would generally have to go back to the council chamber unless the mayor extended it.
Okay.
And the thought was, in the unlikely event that the premier does terminate the state of emergency, which is, I mean, it seems that everybody's still grappling with the issue of face masks in public. I mean, there seems to be. So, but if in fact, let's say they ended it at, I think it's supposed to run right now to the middle of July or something, I can't remember, then the mayor would enact a state of emergency. And we would continue the Zoom meetings till at least the end of August.
Okay.
So I would think to keep some continuity with council, we'd want to continue the next meeting. You pretty much plan on it as a Zoom, and then we'll see what happens in September, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and then I think what needs to be discussed, quite frankly, is for this, depending on, Jim's situation, I don't think I'll probably be gone this winter from the looks of things. I'd rather doubt it, right?
I'm not willing to bet on it.
I don't know. They sent me an email today basically asking me, what do I want to do with my deposit, Jim?
Yeah.
Let it ride, or do you want to see if you can get the place rented to someone else, So, it may or may not be an issue for this winter, but it would be an issue for the winter afterwards, hopefully, and we should, I know for council meetings, people really like to be able to watch the meetings live streamed on YouTube. And I think one of the reasons why we're going to keep in the Zoom format is to be able to give us some time to be able to keep that service alive, even if we go back into the council chambers, right?
Right.
So I think we need to look down the road for this committee that perhaps our chairman, could attend by Zoom. Considering we're down to a committee of 4, right? Somebody gets, put out of action, Braytel, then we're down to a committee of 3 and you, Adam. It's pretty,
Yeah.
So I think you got to kind of look at that, right? That's my only suggestion. So I think you should really just, you and Steve should be huddling up and see,
Yep.
what we need to do. I know for council meetings, it's a directive's got to come from the province, but I think for committee of adjustment meetings, I think there's something that you can do that and, within the township organization. I may be wrong, but I think that's the way it works out.
Yep. No, that'll
That's all I know, so.
That'll be a topic of discussion.
Yeah, I think it's gonna, probably this whole thing's gonna change the way we do things for quite a while down the road, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any other
Adam?
business?
Adam,
Yeah.
I have a question. How are we supposed to submit our expenses now? You want me to just take a picture of my expense sheet and email it to you, or drop it off at the township office?
Either way is fine.
Okay.
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 Have a motion to adjourn. Stuart, Terry. Okay, the Committee of Adjustment of the Corporation of the Township of Sigmund does hereby adjourn this hearing at 4:53 p.m. on Wednesday, July 8th. The committee will hold its next hearing at 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, August 12th, 2020, or at the call of the chair, unless the Secretary Treasurer has not received complete applications for committee consideration. All in favor? Thank you for coming.
All right. Thank you, committee.
Thank you for sharing.
Have a nice day.
Get them straight, Jim.
Well,
Hey.
it gets a little better each time, I guess.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Okay.
See you
Okay.
guys later. Be safe.